This is a special neighborhood tour for me because it's a place I've called home for nearly 10 years. Uptown Denver, vibrant city living, and in walking distance to just about everything. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan Haarer, Denver homes and neighborhoods expert. I'm also a local realtor, so if you need any help buying or selling a home, please reach out. That's my primary goal, is to help you make your next real estate move. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video so you never miss another home or neighborhood tour. And let's get into today's video. Neighborhood tour, Uptown Denver, also known as North Cap Hill, a place I have called home for about 10 years now. In this video, we are going to get into the location benefits, the attractions to the area, and of course the types of homes available and the cost of those homes. First, let's talk location. We are just east of downtown Denver, on the doorstep of downtown. 17th Avenue runs right through the middle of Uptown, and that's where a lot of the action happens. We'll talk about that in just a bit. The southern border of Uptown is Colfax Avenue, where you will see both the state capitol and the Denver Basilica. And Park Avenue, one of the main thoroughfares through the Denver area, is Uptown's eastern border. I know we just started this video, but hopefully by now, with some of the video that I'm showing you, you can tell this is not a suburb. This is city living. Lots of hustle and bustle in the Uptown area. Uptown is kind of like downtown life. The biggest buildings here, they're not office buildings, but luxury apartments with hundreds of units in them apiece. Think nice gyms fully equipped with rooftop decks and pools. Denver, and specifically Uptown, are being continuously built out. There are several big construction projects happening in Uptown right now, with hundreds of more apartment units and condo buildings coming for sale in the coming months. It's a very dense urban neighborhood, and if that's appealing to you, you will love how walkable Uptown is, which brings us to section 2, the attraction to the area. Why do people want to live in Uptown? So for starters, you are in walking distance to 2 grocery stores in Uptown. You do, of course, have the big Safeway on the northeast part of Uptown, where you will get a bulk of your groceries, again, within walking distance. But you also will find yourself going to the specialty grocery store, Marzik Fine Foods. Absolutely love this place. I stop in a couple times a week to get a sandwich from the deli counter, or maybe a couple of items to make for dinner. Speaking of food, you have many restaurant options in Uptown. 17th Avenue, I've always heard it called Restaurant Row, although when I did this Instagram video, I heard from plenty of folks on social media who say, we've never called it that, but I don't know, I live here and that's what people call it. Check this out. Have you been to Denver's Restaurant Row? It's on 17th Street in Uptown. Here are some of my favorite bars and restaurants. And those are just a few of the options on Restaurant Row. You can go outside of Restaurant Row a couple of blocks away and find a couple of my other favorites. You have Colorado Campfire for bar food and beer. You have Coperta, one of my favorite Italian restaurants in the entire city of Denver. And do not miss D-Bar for desserts. And if you don't want to sit down and have a full meal, they have a to-go counter on the side of the building. I also forgot to mention Frozen Matter, an ice cream shop, where if you really want a cocktail, go inside this place and knock on the freezer door. That's all I'm gonna say. You will probably want to walk these meals off, and this is a great neighborhood to do it. You could walk west into downtown if there's a big event happening down there, or you want to catch a movie on the 16th Street Mall, but you will most frequently find yourself walking east towards City Park. I did an entire video about a couple of different neighborhoods to the east of Uptown, both City Park and Park Hill further east of that, and they all kind of cluster around City Park itself. One of my favorites in the entire city. It's the biggest park in all of Denver. So much room to roam, running and walking trails. You have a big lake where people will do some small boating during the summer. And City Park is also home to the City Park Golf Course and the Denver Zoo. From parks to coffee shops to bars, you name it, Denver has it all within just a few square miles. So what kind of homes are we talking about in Uptown? I mentioned apartments, and you will see a ton of those, with one bedrooms typically starting around $1,800. There are some cheaper options and certainly some more expensive options, but the middle of the road will typically include one parking spot, a gym of some sort, and potentially some additional amenities. Think a dog run or a pool, as I mentioned before. But what about homes for sale? There are single-family homes available in Uptown, but they don't come up for sale very often. There are very few of them. Typically, homes built in the early 1900s, brick, Tudors, tons of character. I love these types of homes. There just aren't very many of them in Uptown. What you will typically find here are townhomes and even more condominiums. I mentioned density. People are packed in here. There are many, many units that people own in this neighborhood. My wife and I actually own a condo in this neighborhood, and we plan to hold it forever because this is a great neighborhood to rent out to and make some additional income over the years. So about those condos, you do have low-rise buildings of approximately 3 stories, 5 stories, and then you have some of the really big condo buildings, 10+ stories with some additional amenities. Most of the condo buildings in Uptown will provide some sort of covered or garage parking. There aren't a ton of amenities here. There are a couple of buildings, I'm thinking 100 Park Ave, that actually does have a pool and a dog run and a gym. Of course, that will tack on to your HOA. But typically in this neighborhood, amenities are limited in these condo complexes. There are luxury condos in this neighborhood. I'm talking about big penthouses that will sell for over $1 million, or something slightly lower in price point, but plenty of square footage like this home that I sold last year. There are single bedroom condos, which make them a great option for that first-time home buyer who doesn't need a ton of space and would like some equity being built over paying a landlord $1,800 to $2,000 a month. 600 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, a garage spot, some really great opportunities, and those will typically start in the low to mid $300,000 range. But the median condo price in the Uptown neighborhood is about $500,000 as I'm recording this, and that should get you at least 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, maybe not a full-scale renovation, but some sort of updates happening in there. And your HOA, they're typically right around $400. They can go up, though, if you're in a building with some of those amenities. In my experience and in my wife's experience, we wanted to buy our first home, our condo in Denver. So like I mentioned earlier, we can eventually rent it out. It will provide great rental income because of its proximity to downtown and so many other locations across the city of Denver. It's very central, and we know we're going to be able to rent it out relatively easy. So it's going to provide some additional income for years to come, and in the meantime, we get to walk to all of our favorite bars and restaurants and quickly get to the highways and out to the mountains if we need to. And that about does it for this tour of Uptown Denver, a wonderful neighborhood that is close to my heart. Obviously, I've been here about 10 years. I've loved the walkability of it, the ease of getting just about everywhere from downtown to the highways out to I-70 and into the mountains. This is such a phenomenal location, but it is city living. After about 10 years, I'm ready for some more space, and my wife and I are looking to kind of move on and get a bigger home with a yard and start shoveling that sidewalk. But for this phase of our lives, it has been perfect. Wouldn't change a thing. If you have questions about living in the Uptown neighborhood or any neighborhood across the Denver area, please reach out and be sure to comment with which neighborhood you want to see next.